And you're back to Prime Morning. It's time for Let's Talk Relationship. Please make sure that you get interactive with us on all our social media platforms. Our WhatsApp line is very, very active, so start sending in your messages. Before I get into today's topic for discussion, a huge thank you to Nutri-Snacks Oats Digestive. Like I always say, if you're somebody who enjoys going on diets, but you still want to enjoy something delicious, you can opt for Nutri-Snacks Oats Digestive. It is great for you. It is full of fiber. It is full of nutrients and vitamins. It's not just for kids. It's for you adults as well. So you can kindly go to any supermarket and buy yourself some Nutri-Snacks Oats Digestive. Now, it's time for us to give you a part 2 of last week's conversation during Let's Talk Relationship. And the topic for discussion was coping with in-laws. And I asked a very simple question that how many of you, or if you are somebody who has experienced not to, or if you've had a bad experience with your in-laws, you can share that with us on our WhatsApp line. But unfortunately, we're pressed for time, and so we couldn't really get interactive, couldn't really pick up your messages. But today, we have time for you. So kindly start sending in those messages. If you have an experience with a bad in-law, with a good in-law, with a great in-law, whatever the experience has been, please share it with us on our WhatsApp line, and I'll definitely be reading them in the course of the segment. My name is Asiedua Akumia, and like I said, we're giving you part 2 of last week, coping with in-laws, the role of the couples and the role of the parents. And today, I want us to look into brothers-in-laws, sisters-in-laws, because they also play a major role in the lives of couples. It's not just their parents. There's something that they're one way or the other, they also contribute into making the lives of their in-laws a living hell or a very exciting and smooth one. And so we are going to look at that as well. My guest this morning is Ronnie Daniel Matefio, who is the Marketing and Sales Director of Dominion TV and CEO and founder of Synergy Facilities. Good morning, Ronnie.
Good morning, good morning. Always a delight to have a conversation with you.
Yeah. Always a delight to have you here. Last week we had a very awesome conversation, a very smooth one.
I tell you.
Yes. And it was after the conversation that we saw a whole lot of, we were actually not too happy that we couldn't pick up the messages because we were pressed for time and all that. But then today, like I said, we have enough time for you. So please start sending in your messages. The number is 055-157-5757. Or you can go to our Facebook page. It is Joy Primedale and the TV. Get into the comment section and start sending in your suggestions about this topic. Ronnie.
Yes.
Coping with in-laws. Last week we spoke about a lot.
Yes.
Things that some parents are doing wrong.
Yeah.
Things that some parents are tolerating.
Yeah.
The fact that some parents are even refusing to let their children go or let their children be adults.
Exactly.
We established quite a number of things. Yeah. And today, I want us to continue a little bit from there, and then we'll get into sister and brother-in-laws, because they also play a major role.
Exactly. They play very tremendous, some are very big influence, big, huge influence. And I will share, I will share one as we move along. But I think that what jumped out for me most is the breakfast, every morning breakfast before.
The story of my friend there.
I tell you. I was imagining. I'm imagining if I live in Tesano, she lives in Tema. And my office is at Osu. So what it means is that I have to drive all the way to Tema every morning to have breakfast.
So he wakes up very early in the morning. He makes sure he wakes up very early in the morning.
Yes.
So that he will not be late for work, because he has to go have breakfast with his mother.
How about the kids? Who drops the kids at school?
The wife does. My friend does.
Okay.
Yes.
So
when they close from school too, she goes to pick them up.
So when your friend travels, what happens?
Yeah, some more.
Anyway, very interesting. But I think that we had an exciting time last week.
We did.
And then this today will not be different. It will be more exciting. Yeah.
Now, let's continue. Like I said, from the parents. When you are able to identify certain red flags or the kind of closeness or clinginess that your partner before marriage has with his or her parents, when it's too close, when it's too, it feels like the mother or the father of your soon-to-be spouse is so involved in the life of your spouse that it looks like they can't just do away without telling them, oh, today I did this and that. This is how my day went. This person is doing this to me at work. What do you think I should do? Because last week I remember that Reverend Amma did mention something like that, that you shouldn't, it's not everything that you put out there. But in a situation where your mother has been like a best friend to you from childhood, you are used to telling her everything. Nobody comes in between you two, and you feel like she has given you great counsel over time. After marriage, it would be very easy if you're having small quabbles with your spouse. It would be very easy for you to go to her.
Yeah.
So how do you handle such a situation? How do you handle such a partner?
I think two things. One of the things is for you to also befriend your in-law. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Try and get into that space because you are family.
Okay.
Know that. Try and get into that space, and probably understand him or her more.
Wouldn't that be encouraging that habit the more of your spouse telling everything that is going on between you two to her mother or
first of all, you are family. You are not competing.
Okay.
So try and get into that space. Get involved. You would understand. Not if you get into that space, as time goes on, you understand why that clinginess happens. And maybe you will also find a space there.
Okay.
Find a space there. Then when you occupy that space, maybe your in-law would allow the two of you to be. The other thing is that if you are not able to get in there, like we established last week, find someone who your spouse respects a lot. A lot. Someone who is more wiser and sensible than both of you.
Okay.
And your spouse as well.
Okay.
So that that person can have a sit-down talk with your spouse. I think that those are the two things you need to do. But as much as possible, because you're a family, try also get involved there. It is when you are far away, you don't want to talk about the situation, you don't want to be part of the situation, that it gets on and eats you the more.
Okay.
The situation recurs. Then you will be at the other balance, being eaten by the situation. So you have to be getting, because you're going to live for the rest of your life with this. And you're going to live as family, because your spouses, your in-laws are part of you in the marriage till you decide to part away or you decide to go for the rest of your life with it. So these are the two things I think that you should do when you are faced with challenges like this.
Okay. Now I want us to pick a very interesting scenario. I know that I have heard quite a number of stories and issues here and there with married couples who went into marriages without their parents giving them their blessings. And so you have some in-laws who do not like a particular husband or a particular wife because he or she did not give the blessing for the marriage. What do you do? Do you have to force yourself for that parent to like you? Because the parent didn't like you, and then your husband forcefully married you without necessarily having the blessing of his parents. So how do you handle such an in-law?
Also, I think that is two things. Okay. If you think that your spouse is your best choice, please commit them more to your spouse. Be consistent. You are married to your spouse against the wish of his mom or his dad or his dad or
some don't even attend the ceremony.
Yeah. Make sure you commit first of all to the relationship that you have with your spouse. Make sure that you are one in whatever you do and all that. Also, I mean, if you don't believe in God, find a God to believe in. If you're a Christian, please pray about it. If you're a Muslim, please pray about it. If you are otherwise, try and commit some, because marriage is not a physical thing.
Okay.
It is instituted by God. I mean, so you make sure that if you have any issue in that department, you go to the manual of that department. Yeah, that is one thing we need to establish. That if you have any issue with your in-law, you have any dislike, very strong dislike of your in-law towards you, and the good thing is that your spouse is
loves you regardless.
commit faithfully.
Don't forget about the in-laws.
No, don't forget about them, but pray about it.
Okay.
Pray about it. You know, you are in this fest with your spouse.
Right.
You must always understand this before anybody else. That's why when there are issues, you first solve your issues. So you make sure that you commit to this. And if you're a Christian, commit it to God. If you're a Muslim, pray to Allah about it. If you have anything, commit it. But if you are so interested in your marriage, as you and your spouse, please commit to yourselves and make sure that you are faithful to it. Then you pray about whoever in-law who doesn't like you. I think that those are the two things that you need to judiciously do every day.
But would it be advisable before you get married, knowing very well that your to-be spouse or partner, his or her parents don't like you, no matter what you do, they just don't want the marriage. They just don't like you. They can't love you. Would it be advisable to, regardless, still get married into such a family?
It depends. I mean, they may not be just. Let me tell you a story. Before I got married, I used to have this lady whose father never liked me.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know why. Anytime I go there, the man.
Why you were not working at that time?
Oh, I was working.
You were getting some money.
Yeah, I was working.
Did you have a car?
Yes, I had a car when I was in the US.
Oh, you had a car in the university.
So yeah, but let me tell you why.
Okay.
I used to dress in some way.
How?
Yeah, maybe a bodysuit, always in jeans with my pouch, and I had ring and
chains.
Yeah, I had Elizabeth Duke chain.
So you are dressing like a thug?
No, not a thug. I had a very decent one.
Oh, okay.
And and this bracelet. I have been wearing bracelet. And this one, I assume that I deal in drugs. In his mind. Yeah. So that was his conviction, that I look too affluent for my age and all that. So he has assumed, and he didn't like me. So one day I had a talk with him. I decided one afternoon, I just went to have a talk with him. And guess what? He cooks, so I went to cook with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then he realized that my background, and we ended up discussing scriptures. Then he realized that I wasn't. So sometimes the perception of your in-laws will be way different. Than who you are. So again, if you are found with an in-law who doesn't like you, blah 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 blah, your best bet is that your wife to be or your girlfriend to be or your boyfriend to be is into you.
Yes.
So commit to that one.
Okay.
And go. I know sometimes it's very difficult. I mean, it's difficult when there's this tension. You know that there's some heavy weight. Whenever the mother comes to pass, you know that, Charlie. Yeah. But if you are committed to it, please commit and ensure that your girlfriend or your boyfriend to your husband or wife to be also are interested in the relationship as much as you do. Yeah. Sometimes some of the cases you just have to walk. I know some of the things you just have to walk because especially when you have you are dealing with a mama boyfriend who takes everything from the mother. I mean, sometimes they will just believe in what you are not.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes they will see you dressed in a certain way and they will think that you are you live in a certain life, but you will be totally wrong. So be consistent if your spouse is also consistent. Or if it becomes problematic, I think that you should weigh your options and decide otherwise.
You know, sometimes there's this belief that there is some level of spiritual implications to this if you don't have the blessings of your parents when you're entering marriage, because it's a whole journey and then all that. I don't know what your beliefs are, what you would say in regard to that, because there are some couples who believe that provided they do not have the blessings of their parents, they don't feel that they can be fulfilled or successful in their marriage regardless.
Okay, I will handle it from a certain. Know God for yourself.
Okay.
because God is closer to everybody. Honor your parents or honor other people, respect other people, but blessings come from God.
Okay.
Yeah, blessings come from God. There are people who do not even want their parents to be at their wedding. Yeah, I've handled a lot of weddings. I host a lot of weddings. There's a particular wedding that the groom didn't want the mother to be there. Yes. And he called me, says, why do parents cut cake with their when they don't do, what will happen to the marriage? That's what the groom asked me. I didn't know the situation. He says he doesn't want his mother to cut the cake, and he says something that is very profound. He asked something very profound. Would God still be in the marriage if both of us cut the cake alone? So I said, know God for yourself.
Okay.
It is very key. Blessings come from God, not from human beings. It is through human beings that sometimes God blesses man. But each and every one is closer to God. You may be even closer to God than the person you think that speaks about it all the time.
Okay.
So I want to handle it from that
angle. Know God
for yourself. Don't think that anybody needs to bless you before you are blessed by God.
This is a very interesting submission. Viewers, we are talking about coping with in-laws. What are some of the experiences that you've had with in-laws? If you are married, if you are yet to be married, and you're experiencing, any, whether it be good or bad, whatever it is at all, or if you have any questions for Ronnie here in relation to how to cope with your in-laws, please send these messages to our WhatsApp line. The number is 055 157 5757 055 157 5757. Any questions at all that you have in relation to in-laws, Ronnie is going to do his very best to help you answer all these questions. Now, Ronnie, let's come into sisters and brothers in-laws.
The blockbuster.
The role that they play in all of this. Let's come to that.
I have an interesting case. My wife is the last of 14 children.
Last of 14?
Yes, 14 children. One parent decided to give birth, leave the marriage. Other decided to give birth, leave the marriage. They came. And so all her siblings have siblings. And because she's a last born, they dictate to her. So some of them are out of the country. Go and do this for me. Go and do this for me. Go and do this for me.
For their own benefits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because they still see her as their baby sister.
Child, right?
Yeah, but this is about 41, 42-year-old lady. Yeah, and they say, so I want to do this in Ghana. Go and check for me. Go and check for me. Oblivious of our shadows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you have to remind her that okay, we have this plan. Then she remembers, okay, oh yeah. It may not be an issue if you have a very strong relationship with your sister or brother-in-law. But imagine if you are not in good terms with them. This will be a very huge pressure in the marriage.
Okay.
And it would result in a lot of this. I am maybe we have a schedule. We are traveling. Then your sister or your brother call. I want you to do this on the same day, because maybe they have something to give to her after. It will bring a lot of issues, and this happens in a lot of relationships. Some also. I was talking about a situation where a brother-in-law decides to come and paint. The
house. Last week.
He didn't do it out of disrespect. He thought he had painted his house. There is SS paint. You are living in their mother's house, so he decides to come and paint the house. He didn't need your permission. He came and painted it. And you come over, you see people painting. Ask, what's happening?
What's going on?
He said, your wife's brother says
We should paint the house.
Paint the house. Sometimes sisters-in-law also invade. They are thinking that they've cooked for their brother and the entire time when they were growing up. So that issue of mother coming to put sisters-in-law also
they
do
also
the same.
do that.
They come and they invade the kitchen and they cook. The worst thing is that when they finish cooking, they don't leave the kitchen as clean as you would have. And you may not be able to talk about it because you want to respect them, and maybe you respect your husband, so you don't want to. And maybe you speak to your husband and so just clean it. Your husband says, if I just say this, said, but this one, just clean it. Or should I go and clean it for you? Then the lady will not be at peace. So these are the disadvantage of someone.
Okay.
But they can also be a very good blessing.
Yeah.
They can be a very good, especially when you are the last born. They can be a support system to you. They can take over the kids when you are. I have a friend, my best friend whose sisters-in-law are older. Whenever he's traveling, they come to the house, they take care of the children, and he's cool. He always buys things for them and make sure that they are okay. So there are both advantages and disadvantages. But sometimes they can overstep their bounds.
They can
overstep their bounds.
So let's look at a situation where, let's say, as a woman, you are from a family where, you are the first child. Automatically, you're from a family where, they believe that since you are the first child, you ought to do certain things to help, hold the hands of your siblings who are now coming and all that. And then now you get married, you move into your husband's home. They still expect that to some extent you are able to help your siblings do certain things. Or let's say, your siblings live elsewhere. And so, I'm coming to school in Kumasi, I'm coming to school in Takoradi. Meanwhile, you live in Takoradi. Okay, so they have no choice than to come and live with you. It might not just be one, it might be more than one, maybe 2 of them or 3 of them coming to move in with you and your husband. How would you, as a husband, say that you're going to handle? Is it everything that you need to entertain? Is it every time that you have to accept, situations like this? Because this is how their family is. They are used to it. They don't see anything wrong with it. So how would you live with such a family?
Okay. When you get married, a lot of things change. That's why you must leave your father and mother. So it applies to this too. Last week we said that ensure a healthy boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't think that the same situation must escalate into your marriage, but make sure it is healthy. You discuss it with your spouse of the arrangement that you used to have. Your brother-in-law or your sister-in-law cannot impose themselves on you and say, "Hey, I'm here." So anytime, maybe if you have a very huge house and you are very affluent and you don't mind, then yes. But if you have a 2-bedroom house, when your spouse live at one, your children live in one, you may be able to. I will say that if we should leave our 4-bedroom and just move to a 2-bedroom house, so that
maybe it will stop the family members from
because I hear over that. So you need to discuss it with your spouse, as we established last week. You may be able to ensure some boundaries who visits, and you make sure that you won't have to discuss it with your spouse about the boundaries.
Okay.
Let each couple discuss with their
families,
with their people.
Yeah.
That is it. But when you want to do good things, you cross.
Okay.
You cross so that each spouses will see their spouse in good light. So when it's difficult thing, deal with your. So you have to go and deal with the situation. Make sure that you make necessary arrangements, if possible. Make necessary arrangement, because if you live in a 1-bedroom house or 2-bedroom or all in chamber self-contained, you may have to discuss it, because you don't want your brother or your sister to impose him or herself on your spouse. it will bring tension, it will bring confusion, it will bring disagreement and all that. It will even affect your intimacy at some point. So you may have to discuss it, make arrangements so that that taking care of school fees, taking care of chop money, and taking care just coming to my house when I was single and I didn't say anything must always be discussed when you are married, so that it doesn't occur.
Now let's come to financial burdens.
Yes.
In relation to all this, some families believe that as a man, if you marry into a home, you're not only supposed to take care of your wife, you are supposed to extend it and take care of your wife's siblings if you can. So if your wife's siblings are having issues with school fees, like you were mentioning, the husband should be able to come in and say that, let me help sort this out. Accommodation, let me help sort this out. If it comes to monthly monies for the mother-in-laws or the father-in-law, just for them to feel like, like that kind of thing. Some families believe that you have to take that financial responsibility on yourself.
It is not a responsibility. You are answerable and responsible for your parents. It's not for the other parents. If you feel that you have and you want to extend it to them, fine. Your sole responsibility is your family. You don't have any responsibility beyond your family to your in-laws. No, you don't. It is only nice, sometimes frivolous, I think, that when you have more than enough, after taking care of your family, that you want to extend it to, or maybe there is a peculiar situation out there that you want to help, so you would have, but you don't have nobody gives you that responsibility.
You are not under any obligation to take care of your parents-in-law.
No, you are not. 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 You have a responsibility in taking care of your
own parents.
Your own parents, but not the parents of it. It is when it is only optional, or when you have more than enough after taking care of your family, because that's very key. Then you want to extend it to. Nobody can take you to court for not taking care of your of your in-laws. But when you're not taking care of your children, and you are not taking care of your sometimes there's a tag of irresponsibility attached to you. But nobody can tag irresponsibility to you when you are not taking care of your in-laws. So it is not a responsibility to start with. But if you have enough, or they are going through a very peculiar situations and you want to extend your financial support and you need support to them, you can. But it is not. Nowhere is it said that you are responsible to, then what are you telling your wife? That your wife is responsible in financially taking care of your no,
parents.
I mean, it doesn't. There's no law.
Because there's the whole notion of it's the man that takes care of the home.
Yes.
So automatically it's channeled into all areas. That's the kind of perception that a lot of African homes or Ghanaian families have in relation to men taking care of their families.
Yes. No. I don't think so. And home is not only the man who takes care of home. The CEO of the home is the woman. No.
How do you mean?
I mean, sometimes to a large extent, the man just releases money. It is recently that we have some of us that also go to the markets and blah blah blah. But the woman takes care of them. They are the managers of the home. Sometimes they know every situation at home better than even the man. The man just releases money sometimes, and until recently, they just release money. Now that the men are getting involved, trying to spend time with the kids at home, trying to cook also at home, and trying to clean at home. But it is the preserve of women. Women, even though women are also busy now, you find them trying to double. They're trying to also manage home in addition to their. So it's not the preserve of a man. Now the man takes care of him. It is when they say man takes care, it's linked to financial thing. And once you take care of home, it doesn't mean that you also need to extend it to your spouse. No, I mean, yeah, your first priority is your home. In fact, it is legal. Yes, but you don't have any answerability, or you are not answerable to your spouse because you have to take care of your home.
Now, speaking about finances, before you get married, are you obliged as a man to show your would-be parents-in-laws that you are financially buoyant?
Why do you have to
because that is the only way maybe they can feel that you can take proper care of their child.
But at the traditional marriage, that is established. It's established that I can take care of because you levy some amount of money to me.
And it's brought.
It's brought.
No, but then you see the road before you get there.
Yeah.
Before you get to the traditional marriage.
Yeah.
Some parents feel that, you know, the man has to show something. Do something.
In what way? How do you do
financially?
That? How do you show that financially?
So let's say if you are going to visit your in-law, you have to drive a certain kind of car.
You have to have a lot of money. You have to do a certain work. You can lose everything.
And then you can't go to your in-law's house and then you leave them just like that. You have to leave something.
I think that I know what you're talking about. I think that for you to have a very good in-law and good, you shouldn't be seen trying to sell your daughter.
As a parent?
The parent.
Okay.
Try and look for some qualities on the other side, or your son-in-law to be. You shouldn't be seen trying to find out whether he has a car, he has a this and that. I mean, if that is why a lot of young men are into so many things just to
prove a point.
Yeah. And some people also get married with their friends, and or they gather people, and they So we have to look at how responsible he is, how well he's brought up. Yeah, because if you marry your daughter to a well brought up gentleman, he may not have what you are looking for in him now. But you may, and women know, so the mothers know a boy or a gentleman who has a future. Okay. So you may want to identify that in that. Sometimes is the home he comes from, what he does currently, and or whether he has a place he lives. I remember when I was going to get married, one thing I was asking, do I have a bed? Do I have a chair? Do I have a table? And I said, okay, then you are.
Oh, do you have a bed, table, and chair?
Yeah.
Just these three things?
Yeah.
And they were okay?
Yes. I mean, they've done their checks already, but they wanted to find out whether I have a bed and chair. Yeah. And they explain why I should have all that. Yeah. The bed for,
resting?
Yeah, not just resting. Yeah. The chair, so that I can sit and discuss. So you may have to look beyond just money and affluence and all that. I mean, if you are looking for that in your son-in-law to be, that is a disaster waiting to happen. That if that guy is not what you are looking for, he can pose himself as such.
As such.
These days, it's not difficult. Yeah. Can pose himself as such. He can even bring people who are rich to follow, and after that, just at the entrance, he departs. You know, so you may have to be more investigative than just looking for an affluence attached to who your son-in-law to be is, you know, or who your daughter-in-law to be. You may have to. That is why the family try to find out which family the person is from, and then through that you can know who, or through that you can speak to someone about him and know more about it. And sometimes you just have to have a conversation with a young man, and you know that is a young man who is correct to be a son-in-law, who is correct to be. But sometimes parents want a very good man for their daughters,
Yeah.
But they don't.
Somebody who isn't stingy.
Yeah, but their daughters.
gives.
But
the daughters are the problems.
Yeah, sometimes they don't concentrate on making their daughters what they are looking for in that case. So they go to the marriage and the guy is okay. There's a problem with the So you may have to. The law of attraction says that you have to attract what you are. So when you want to attract something for your daughter, you may have to apply the same thing. You have to make your daughter, he may be able to cook, very respectful, make sure that he knows how to treat his wife or his husband or well, his friends well, to be, you know how to comport herself, all those things. Yeah, so that when she goes, she can also stay in the marriage rather than being brought back. You know, so you may have to look at it too.
So if you're a man and then you find out that the woman that you're about to marry, her parents are so concerned and into money, the person has to have money, would you look at that and see that this could be a red flag for the young lady that you're about to get married to?
It depends on what the young lady is also. Because
now people pretend a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stage, life is a stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you may have to be very tactful in this. You know, I always say that marriage is a very big thing. Unlike people think that it's just about sex and all that. No, it's work and commitment. You know, so when you are going to it, you may have to make sure that you fulfilled all that you need to fulfill. Make sure that you know your spouse at least to some extent. Know your what do you call it, your in-laws to be, and make sure that you are okay with it at that point, and be ready to commit to it, because marriage also demands that you are committed to it, and has a lot of work there. I mean, I always say that when you get into marriage, when you get into 10 years, you realize that the love is just about 2%.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just about 2%.
Okay.
Yeah, and the married people will be laughing. It's just about 2%. What there is work and commitment. So when you are sometimes the whole week you'll be talking about money, responsibility, and all those things. You know, in the marriage. So you may have to look at that situation and feel and see if you are okay with it.
Right.
Maybe you do a very good job, so that will not be an issue for you. You can take care of her when you get married, and also your in-laws.
Yeah.
Your in-laws.
That's up to you.
Up to you. It should be a personal decision.
But it's not forceful.
No. You don't have to be forced. You don't have to be forced to take care of your, like I said earlier. No, there's no responsibility.
Yeah.
You don't have that responsibility.
Okay, so we have some messages. Let's take them. Josiah White says, "Know God for yourself." Isi, I love your comment. Okay. Winielas Akoto says, "Know God for yourself." Great submission. Abdullah Jamila says, "I'm loving this show. I boxed to step out, but couldn't afford to miss it. Currently watching live from my phone. Great job, Joy Prime. Kudos, Isiedua." Thank you very much, Abdullah, for this great comment. Good morning. Do parents have the right to sue their children if the children, are not taking care of them during their old age? This is the question that I was actually going to get to, because yes, you know, there's an Akan adage that they have taken care of you in your baby stage, so take care of them when their teeth are falling out. Exactly. So are you under duress, if that's how I should put it, obliged to take care of your parents no matter what in their old age?
I think morally yes, but legally you can't sue.
Legally, no.
You can't sue. What's the suit about? I mean, what are you going to? What suit are you going? But morally, you have to. You have to, because they've sacrificed a lot for you. There are parents who sat by fire, cooking and taking their children to the university.
Yes.
I mean, it's only for lack of a better word,
It's logical.
Yeah,
it's just
logical.
logic.
Yeah, like logical to extend that without even thinking. I mean, it should be involuntary. You should just do it. I mean,
because I know that some couples feel like after they have gotten married and they are starting their own families, they need to focus on that only, and then that's it.
No. You don't have to. You don't have to just do that. I mean, you can't be that selfish. I mean, take care of your home, yes, but make sure that you extend it to your parents as well. As well.
Okay. Yeah. Right. And next comment. Hello, God bless you all for this great job. Amen. Please, my question. I love my husband's family, but he's not. Sometimes I have to force him to call my mother. He doesn't care anything happens to my sisters. Please, what should I do? Okay, so he doesn't love your family.
Your family.
Please, what should I do? I have decided to stop doing this to his family. Please advise me. So she is giving love to his family, but she's not receiving love from the man towards her family.
I think that you should continue. Don't and now refocus.
Care.
Now refocus. Don't do it because you want some feedback. The feedback will never come. I mean, for God so loved the world that He gave, nobody loved Him back.
Okay.
Yeah, so you may have to continue. We give to people that we don't even know. See this one as an example of it. Just go ahead and love it. I believe that you have fulfillment there in building relationship with your in-laws. Continue.
I think one main concern of hers is the man doesn't even call her parents nor her sisters to find out if they are okay or doing fine. Yeah, because in the beginning he didn't use. He wasn't doing it. Yes, so don't expect that. After marriage, he will do it. Yeah, in marriage, the things that you enter with, it gets worse. Okay, so deal with it before you enter. Yes. Deal with it before you get. It's not when you gotten it and you think that you change. Maybe you are a whole family. The problem is that the question is that is he good to you? Right. Is he talking to you? Is he chatting? Is he calling you? The communication with you is it at its utmost best? Right. If that's the case, concentrate on that. Okay. He may not be the in-law. Okay. Next comment reads, good morning to you and your viewers. I think it would be nice if at least you, the husband, try support your parents-in-laws, whether you have less or more than excess. Especially in Ghana, when you marry, it becomes a mandatory 10% of your burden to support your wife's family. And I think this is killing so many marriages. Very true. I'm Eric Justice Jr. from Accra. Very interesting message there. I don't know where this proportion comes from. The 10%. Because I know that some families are expectant of that. Yeah, I mean, you can be, but you shouldn't impose it in a young couple. I mean, if they've grown to a certain extent, then they think that they can. No, I mean, if you don't have, how do you give to your spouse? You may not be able to even take care of your school fees, and you are struggling with it. How do you go and take care of your spouses and all that? So yes, if you have, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do. I'm saying that if you have, you should. But your main responsibility is your family. It's your family, and your wife. Just imagine if you are telling your wife. I mean, you are telling your wife that you are paid more than me. So my parents, please sure you save money to them. How would she how ridiculous feel? That would be. So let's look at it wholly, holistically, rather than looking at it from the man responsibility perspective and extending it to. Let's not burden the man unnecessarily. Yeah, sometimes you need to, but not always. Ronnie, thank you very much. Can you give your final submission on this topic? Well, I think that people have scratched on the fact that I'm saying that you should know God for yourself. I would say this, that you may be surprised that you are closer to God than the one you think, the one who you think preaches all the time. So make sure that commit the marriage to God first of all. If there's an issue, go to Him. He has the drawing board. Go to Him, rather than going to someone else and trying to find out. Otherwise, you'll be totally waved off or swayed from
your focus. So make sure that you know God for yourself, and make sure that if there's an issue between the two of you, solve it, or you go to God before you look for anyone else.
Ronnie, thank you once again. Thank you for being here. It's great to have you all the time.
Always.
Yes, and we hope to have you again on a different topic very soon.
Definitely.
My guest for today, Let's Talk Relationship, has been Ronnie Daniel Amoatey-Fio, who is the Marketing and Sales Director with Dominion TV and CEO and founder of Synergy Facilities. And let's take one more message and then we end. This one says, I'm very happy for this morning conversation. To be honest, I noticed my family are not happy with my wife. They try to fake it, but I know it. And this is really causing some emotional effect on my wife, but I don't blame her. But the family takes care of me like their own son, and this bothers me a lot. Please, what can I do about this? And I believe maybe because I am married from another tribe. This tribal thing needs to stop. It really needs to stop. Anyways, thank you all for your messages. We'll do our very best to continue this conversation because it's too broad. It's just too broad, and the messages keep on coming in. Thank you all for your messages so far.